The winter season's been a banger. You've got the usual suspects, the blockbusters that we always knew were going to be blockbusters. However, there have also been some surprising contenders too. Anyone expected my dress-up darling to become as popular as it turned out to be? I guess with a charismatic female lead and a healthy dose of fan service, anything is possible. Still, if you thought the winter was big, you haven't seen anything yet. The spring lineup doesn't seem to have a show that can rival AOT or Demon Slayer in terms of being big hits, but looking at the overall lineup, I actually see an arguably deeper selection than what we've got now. So yeah, you better get ready because the fun's not about to end anytime soon. However, before we begin, how about having a treat? That's right, today's video is brought to you by Sakurako. Sakurako's a nifty subscription box full of your favorite sweets and Japanese snacks. Sakurako seeks to spread the joy of Japanese sweets and tea ceremony culture through these top-notch boxes. So now, even if you live miles away from Japan, you can still have the Japanese experience inside your home. For only a reasonably cheap subscription fee, you get your monthly dose of Japanese snacks by the best creators from all over Japan. These things truly bring the taste of Japan to your doorstep, and you couldn't ask for a more authentic and enjoyable glimpse into Japanese tea time than with what Sakurako will be bringing you. That I can attest to personally with my experience, and I really love their recent box. This month's box theme is Sakura Afternoon Tea, and you can enjoy a Hanami picnic at your home. As an aside, I also find it pretty cool that the box doesn't just contain Japanese snacks, it also has kitchenware, So check out the link in the description box and use code VINI to get $5 off your first box. Delightful snacks, pretty looking boxes, and useful kitchenware. What's not to like? Get your Sakurako subscriptions now. We kick things off with a sports show, the newest football sensation Aoashi. Is it just me, or is there a lack of soccer-themed shows? I can think of Captain Tsubasa and the upcoming Blue Lock, but it's sorely missing that one title that everyone would think of when it comes to a certain sport, like Kuroko or Slam Dunk, Haikyuu, Ippo, Prince of Tennis, that sort of title. Aoashi, frankly speaking, doesn't seem to be on that trajectory. Still, it's a show that sports fans should definitely look forward to. Aoashi's a very interesting sports anime because instead of the usual inter-school settings, it's a show that goes beyond schools and starts dabbling on the actual big leagues. It's a tale of determination and redemption that creates an atmosphere that's familiar, yet ultimately different. After all, this one's all about facing your weakness as compared to the most external challenges sports anime gives our heroes. Aoashi starts off looking like a series about overcoming adversity and turning disappointments into paths of greatness. Typical sports aesops if you ask me. Whether it will etch its name as one of the next big sports titles, well, that remains to be seen, but I'm definitely looking forward to it still. Aoashi! In the 9th slot is Tomodachi Game. Here's something I've taken some interest in for some time now. Tomodachi Game, if you were to ask me to quickly describe it, feels a bit like Danganronpa, or quite frankly, a lot of those edgy trust and betrayal games. Friends forced to play a high-stakes game when there's a hidden antagonist, and they experience the gradual fracturing of their seemingly all-powerful bonds seems to be the niche, edgy hit of the season. While not quite as violent as the titles that have had that description, like Platinum End, Darwin's Game, Battle in 5 Seconds, Liar Game, and such like that, I can guarantee that Tomodachi Game can bring about the same type of vibes these shows have. Having read the manga, I also like how cleverly the games get thought out, and it was a joy seeing the characters express themselves throughout the games. Looking to be a cult hit this season, Tomodachi Game could be your jam. At number 8 is Summertime Render.
新平、ちゃんと私のこと見つけてよ。
It's about time for one of those shows again. Time travel. The chance to redo what you did wrong in exchange for the chance of a happy ending. The first few preview pics may not give off this impression, but Summertime Render is one hell of a thrilling adventure using the time travel through death concept. The premise is simple. Shadows threaten to doom an island, and Shinpei must use his powers of time travel to find the root cause of the destruction and save everyone. As for how this is different from something like Erased or ReZero, I'd gladly say that Summertime Render has won up the titles by eventually introducing higher stakes and limitations to the power, marking the race to the finish line, a very exciting run that I can't put down. Indeed, it's a manga that I binged on in a couple of days, so I'm very high on this title. I hope that the anime version just does it justice too. 7 is the next season of one of my favorite harems, Data Live. Third time's the charm, I guess. Originally slated to air as early as late 2021, Data Live's 4th season had a rough going. 2 delays, but it looks like we're all set for it to go this spring. With this being the 4th installment of a franchise, I guess it's better to talk about the premise from the get-go. Basically, think something like World God Only Knows, but with lots of badass powers and battles. Data Life is a fun series that combines some crazy elements that somehow work so well together. The dating sim thing, the harem, the chuuni fights, it's a show that's emblematic of what the scene was like in the early 2010s, and I'm so glad it's still going strong to this day. This season now takes the team to the next 2 spirits. As Shido tries to solve the puzzle of love with spirits Nia and Mukuro, the last few revelations about the world begin to unfold as the show begins to head towards the endgame, one that would honestly take around another season or 2. Now, I didn't expect to get this far, honestly. 4 seasons for a franchise with moderate international popularity is a lot. Things are about to heat up afterwards though, so let's cross our fingers for a full adaptation. Data Life Fever is still going strong in Asia, so I'm keeping my hopes up. Next, at number 6 on the list is Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. Imagine yourself being this unfortunate guy, coming home every day with nothing but disappointment. Only one thing can save you, right? Yep, I'm talking about the perfect girlfriend. Shikimori, in a lot of ways, is that. Confident, faithful, athletic, and caring. Not to mention a complete beauty, too. But how would you deal with a girlfriend who can also be so cool in the most frightening way possible? Yes, it's the seasonal rom-com that pairs a mismatched couple. Opposites do attract, and having read some of the manga, I can say that seeing the beta and shy male character interact with this very commanding beauty of a girlfriend is a joy. It's a very enjoyable slice of life, and I'll put some slight yandere alerts out for you. Shikimori comes to us this April. It's still too early to tell, but I'm seeing this as a sleeper hit of the season. No! Action! This one surprised me. I knew everyone was waiting for Gomi-san, and it's one of the best shows of its season, so I was a bit bummed that it split core. But we don't have to wait any longer, as we'll finally have the continuation of this sweet school comedy. And I think it deserves it. The first season is a very fun and cute comedy that hoists up the social anxiety angle as its hook, and it works spectacularly. The episodes, while some being slow in actual developments, were never a chore to watch, as the characters are so charming and engaging. I'd also love to give a shout out to the series' production qualities with its visuals and sounds. Will we see more of the same in season 2? Will we get more developments in the relationship between Gomi and Tadano? All signs are pointing to a resounding yes, and I'm really looking forward to it. 4th on our list today is the movie Bubble. I've talked about this before, and as its release nears, I've retained those positive impressions for Bubble. A brainchild of some of the brightest minds in the industry, Bubble, in my thought, is a movie showcasing youthful energy. Taking place in a Tokyo that's been isolated, the movie deals with people who've since taken up parkour to battle each other, jumping from building to building. It's also the story of a fated meeting between parkour prodigy Hibiki and Uta, a girl with powers. It's hard not to get excited with the trailer that's dropped. The whole thing just looks breathtakingly beautiful, and I like how the art and animation managed to capture the thrill of a sport such as parkour. The plot itself doesn't seem to be anything unique, but as I always say, execution is king in these kinds of things. Will it be able to ride the hype into becoming the best standalone anime movie in 2022? It's honestly too early to tell, but the potential is there, and with these amazing creators at the helm, anything can happen.
お前にも聞こえるのか?
呼んでる。
Shield Hero. It's an isekai that I really liked. People looked forward to it, and it had its fair share of controversies back then. Funny to think that what Shield Hero had to go through is pretty much child's play compared to the stuff that's happened to other titles since then, but I digress. Overall, Shield Hero is a nice isekai that mainly thrives on the dynamic of its lead party. The first season was a joy to watch, not only due to the redemption arc and the payoff, which is covered in a satisfying moments video of mine by the way, so check that out, but also because of how Naofumi and Raphtalia grow and play off each other as characters. I'm very excited for the second season because after the ride that was the Kalmira Island arc, we'll be seeing the team take on the Spirit Turtle. Oh, some cool people from the past will also be making a much-awaited return as powerful allies. I won't spoil it for you, but I'm sure some of you can already guess who that might just be. Our second most anticipated anime of the season is Spy Family. 外交しかり、相手を知ることが和平への第一歩。 Talk about a show of wacky elements. Spy Family is quite the wild one, putting together 3 peculiar individuals in a pretend family all for the sake of their missions. A spy, an assassin, and a psychic girl. This short looks like a recipe for a lot of fun adventures ahead, both in their respective assignments and trying to keep their identities a secret. Besides the setup, I find watching this family go through their mundane lives to be very entertaining. You see, they may be specialists in their fields, When it comes to everyday stuff, they tend to be some of the most hilariously clueless and oblivious people out there. Surprisingly wholesome and very funny, Spy Family is the action comedy that we all needed. People are awaiting its grand debut into the anime world, and rightfully so. Probably going to be the best new anime this season will have to offer.
ダメだ。理解できん。俺、そういう気持ち悪い人と違うから。
Yes, Kaguya, Miyuki, and the rest of the gang are back at it again with the third season, this time subtitled Kaguyasama Ultra Romantic. It's been quite a long road for Kaguyasama, but with all these anime seasons and the immense popularity that doesn't look to be waning anytime soon, it's safe to say that Kaguyasama is probably the iconic rom-com of this generation. The galaxy brain battle between our two leads has enthralled anime fans worldwide, and things just keep getting crazier with each season. New characters get introduced, new developments turn the status quo over its head, and there's a lot of fun to be had. We still see many exciting arcs and segments from the manga to see animated. The third season will have a lot more of that. After all, things are starting to heat up with the relationship between our leads. Who will be the breakout star character of this season? There's only one way to find out, and that's by tuning into the third season of this hit rom-com. Do you have Kaguya-sama as your most anticipated title this spring season? Or is it Spy Family? Whatever it is, I'd love to know your reason, so head on down to the comments section to have a little chat about it. If you're interested in connecting through social media, however, you can check out my Instagram, Patreon, and channel memberships, which also help support the channel financially, so I'd love for you to check those out as well. Don't forget to check out our sponsors Sakurako if you're up for experiencing authentic Japanese snacks. Links in the description. That's it for this video. I hope that you'll have a good day ahead of you, and let's look forward to what's looking to be an exciting spring season.